What is up, guys? It's Cookin University here, and today, guys, if you are looking for healthy recipes, including this baked chicken recipe, then you are in the right place. I am about to reveal some super easy ways of how to cook this recipe without having to pay some crazy expensive price. I understand that cooking can be very, very tedious, but don't worry, because today I am going to share with you guys this baked chicken recipe, but the easy way. But before I get into the video, I would like to give a humongous shout out to Ibotta, the place where if you buy certain groceries from a certain grocery store, you get cash back on the groceries you bought. I have saved a ton of money off some of the ingredients of this recipe. All you gotta do is just use my referral code when you sign up, and the link in the description below. And once you submit your first receipt on Ibotta, you get an extra $10 back on groceries. But that is only if you use my referral code. But the best part about Ibotta is that it is completely free to sign up. And I would like to put a disclaimer on here that I also make $10 cash back on Ibotta too when you sign up using my referral code and submit your first receipt on Ibotta. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So ingredients for this recipe. You are going to need some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 1 can of green beans. Now it doesn't necessarily matter what kind of green beans they are, but I do like the French style green beans. They slap, bro. Now it always depends on how big these potatoes are, but I usually like to get around 4 Idaho Redskin potatoes. I usually get about 8 carrots or so. Doesn't necessarily matter how much, just depends how big they are. 1 packet of ZESTY Italian dressing mix. Now this is what makes it taste good. So this is very, very important. Now you might need some vegetable oil or olive oil, whichever you like. You might need a little bit of this, but not much if you do. And last but not least, I usually like to get a half a stick of butter. So as you can see, it measures it by the teaspoons and stuff. I usually get about 4 teaspoons of this, because that's about half of it. Alright, so the first thing you do is make sure to thaw the chicken 24 hours before cooking it. So I only had 2 more teaspoons left of butter, so I put the 2 teaspoons in here, and make sure to grab a butter knife and just cut 2 more teaspoons of it if this happens to you too. And then I put 2 more teaspoons to make it a half stick of butter. But what you do is you just put the butter on the pan and have the heat on low and just let it sit there till it fully melts. Now what you want to do is cut the chicken fat off and cut it into thirds, and then put it into the 9x13 baking pan. Next step is to make sure to rinse the potato off. Now what you want to do is cut the bad stuff off the potato skin and put in the same baking dish with the chicken, but put them separately though. Now what you gotta do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and you can do this before you cut the potatoes, after you cut the potatoes, or in between cutting the potatoes. I usually do it in between cutting the potatoes. Now what you want to do is get 4 carrots, or just a handful of them, and just rinse them off. And now what you do is get every single carrot and cut them long ways. Once you cut all the carrots long ways, you can put them into the pan. I usually put them with the potatoes, but you can do whatever you want. I usually like to leave the chicken alone because it's raw. And now sometimes you don't have to do this, but I had to use the can opener to open the can for the green beans. And this is how I did it. I'm still a beginner at it, by the way. And instead of getting the lid off with your hands, I usually get a spoon because it really hurts if you scratch your fingers on there. Like really bad, like you'll start bleeding. And as you can see, the butter has officially melted. So what you gotta do is just turn the stove off. Now what you do is you get the green beans out of the can and drain them. Make sure you shake the green beans around too. Now what you do is you put the green beans in the dish. I usually put them along with the potatoes and carrots because, like I said, the chicken is still raw. Now what you do is make sure to sprinkle the ZESTY Italian dressing mix over it. And be careful when doing this, don't dump it all in one. I've done that before. Make sure you tear a little hole and then you just sprinkle them all over, because obviously you don't want it all in just one place. And while I'm sprinkling the ZESTY Italian dressing mix, I just wanted to say, if you're interested in discovering more about getting cash back on groceries, then make sure to check out Ibotta at the link in the description. And now what you do is you drizzle the melted butter over it and some olive oil / vegetable oil if you need to. I put a little bit of vegetable oil in there. Now what you gotta do is just put it in the oven. Now if you would like to, you can put some aluminum foil over it, but I don't do it because I like it when it's just a tiny bit burnt. I just think it tastes good personally. That's just personal preference. And then set the timer for 1 hour or 60 minutes. Now I put it in for 59 minutes and 59 seconds because it's been there for at least a second already.
1 hour later!
So now what you do is you get the baking dish out of the oven, and be careful when you do this because it is hot. Don't do this with bare hands. If you do not see any pink after you get the chicken out, then make sure to turn off the oven because you do not want that running overnight. If the chicken still is just a little pink, and which is very rare to happen, get it? Then make sure to put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. And just repeat that process over and over again until it's not pink anymore. And voila, you just made some super tasty baked chicken. And green beans, potatoes, and carrots. So guys, let's feast. Guys, this is like my favorite meal I make, bro. This is so good. Okay, now it may take a long time to make this, but I promise you at the end, it's so good. Get a potato in here. Okay, green beans. Oh, yo, this is hard. You know what, let me go turn on my lighting 1 sec. That's more like it. Get the chicken. Woo. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10 will highly recommend. Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Well, you know what? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more videos helping you out. Cook the healthy, cheap, and easy way. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.